Your website is a crucial part of B2B buying journeys and decision-making processes. That's why it's so important to get it right. So in this video, I'm going to break down 15 examples of brilliant B2B website designs. Let's get into them. Just a quick disclaimer before we get into all the examples in this video. Some of the examples you see are created by us at Blend, and every time that there's an example from us, I will tell you that it's by us. And this isn't to trick you into working with us, but it's actually because we understand that the websites that we're showcasing here that we've created have had a meaningful impact on the business. So we can tell you that they are, very good B2B website designs because we've seen the output of them. We're not just throwing in website designs that we like the look of for a particular trend. They have a lot of strategic thought put into them. The design is crafted for that business to create meaningful user experiences that guide buyers through the website and ultimately through to conversion. So they've had meaningful impact, and we're more than happy to put them in the list because of that reason. So just a small disclaimer there before we get into the rest of the video. The first website we have on the list is Inshur, and this one was created by us at Blend. And what I love about this website, well, I love a lot of things about this website. One of the key things you see straight away is these masks for images here, and they're all transport and driver related because Inshur, sell insurance basically for drivers of, different transport means and deliveries and things like that. And what I love is the way that they've used image masks here to, put in stock photography that mirrors the ideal buyer, but in a really creative way. It would have been very easy just to plonk a standard stock piece of photography here, but masking it within a rear view mirror here, which you can see, not only mirrors what you're seeing in the stock photography, but also kind of has a nod to exactly what Inshur do here. Some other things that I really like here are just the typography, the spacing, the colors, kind of like everything is very easy to digest. Messaging is very clear. Fonts are very easy to read. Spacing is perfect around different elements and in different modules. The color palette is kind of refined. It's pared back, but color is used in meaningful ways to, bring out different points and elevate titles and sections wherever is needed. Some other great things about this website are the way that the kind of driver and corporate areas are separated out. So for individual drivers themselves, we have this area of the website that's very light. It's uses a lot of photography that mirrors the ideal buyer ultimately. But then when you get into the corporate area of the website, the design and the theme actually changes to a dark theme. So you can tell immediately that you're in a different area, that, all of this copy, the design is now tailored for corporate sales rather than individual driver sales. So just that really clear distinction in terms of design from corporate and individual drivers here is a really great thing to distinguish where you are on the website. Another great thing about this navigation is just how simple it is. It would be so easy with all of the different insurance options to actually overcomplicate this navigation. You could bring in a huge mega nav, have lots of options in there. But actually what we've decided to do with Inshur is pare that back completely and have a really simple user experience for drivers to come in, find exactly what they need and guide them through each page really by well-presented content and well-crafted modules that just guide you through the entire process yourself, and you don't have to rely on complex navigation to get you there. The page guides you through that journey itself. So a really well thought out web design there by Inshur. The second website on the list is Zapier, and Zapier's website is a really great one because it illustrates just how to simplify complex information. Zapier as a product is complex. There are a lot of things that you can integrate when it comes to software, and Zapier enables almost all of it to be possible as this, piece of middleware. And what they've been able to do in their website is just really simplify the information and show some amazing visuals in here that show you what's possible on the surface level when it comes to Zapier. So immediately on the homepage, when you scroll down, you get these options here on what's possible. So you can do AI workflows, create AI agents, AI chatbots, create tables. You know, all of these things are entirely possible within Zapier, and they present it right off the bat to show you just that. Now, Zapier do have a big mega nav here, and you can see when I click on products, solutions, resources, they're all large mega navs, but actually I think this is a really well crafted mega nav because they use iconography, different color within that, different font weights, different background styles, different labels here too, to actually distinguish this navigation and make it kind of less cumbersome and less overwhelming to look at. So when I look at this product section, it is easy actually just to focus here and kind of hide the what's new area, which is less important ultimately, so I can focus on what matters here. When we get into solutions here, when we're looking at these different columns here, the iconography, the logos of these apps makes it really easy for me to select what I want immediately. And actually find what I need in what is a large mega nav, to be fair, but it is well crafted, and the design of it makes it really easy to select what you need. Just a quick example of one of the product pages here, just because I really love these visuals and the way that Zapier kind of bring their product to life, because as I mentioned before, this is quite a complex product with a lot of use cases, and Zapier really just distill this down into lots of meaningful UI interface videos and overviews that, you know, can be ignored quite easily, but can also be focused on if you want to digest that product a little bit more. You know, here we're getting a real good run through of how it can be integrated with Slack, and we're seeing that firsthand right there. In terms of what's possible, which I absolutely love. And as you scroll down the page, you've got some brilliant social proof here. Again, just more product UI shots, which I think are really, really crucial for a product like this to showcase exactly what's possible and kind of simplify some of the complexity which is natural in a product just like this. The third website on the list is Monday.com, and again, there are a couple of things that I really like from this website. Firstly, when we get onto the homepage here, I don't think the messaging is the clearest, to be fair, but what I really like is this little module here, which enables you to basically select what you'd like to manage through Monday.com. Firstly, it shows you everything that Monday.com can do in a really kind of creative, interactive way, and it simplifies that down. And it's got this nice hover effect, which actually shows you, you know, each thing as you hover over it. If I'm interested in marketing, I can then see, you know, this real great UI screenshot of what's possible on Monday.com in marketing. And it's a really good lead gen tool as well, because if I select all of these and then hit get started, it's actually going to take me to register and sign up for their freemium product. So, you know, it's a clever way, to be fair, to actually get some increased lead generation through the website and through the kind of immediate homepage experience. But I do like this hover effect and what it's showing you in terms of the actual product UI itself. I think these screenshots are really well crafted as well in terms of this kind of two image setup that they've got here, which pulls out some of the key features like the AI prompting requests and things like that. It's a really nice way to present this information. The fourth website we have on the list is Labguru, and this website was created by us at Blend, and there are some really cool things happening on this website that have actually had a real great impact for their business as well. So when we land on the homepage here, there's a few pieces of animation going on, but as we speak about at Blend, animation should always be done with restraint and with care. So this isn't overwhelming and entirely distracting animation, but it does enhance the message and the experience of the website. So we've got their logo pulled out here, flowing through this freeform gradient from one end to the other, just creating a real kind of unique look and feel and a memorable experience. And, you know, it's something that their other competitors wouldn't have. So it's something unique to Labguru there. And what we can see here is this rotating text as well, which again mirrors the gradient going through their logo and shows the different use cases and benefits of Labguru's lab management software. As we start to scroll down the homepage, of course, we've got social proof here, which there's lots of on this website. As a life science business, social proof and building trust with our audience is potentially the most important thing that can be done. So there's lots of examples of how to use social proof. There's also, great UI screenshots in here showing you exactly how the product can be used, and they're in an animation in this case, which I really like too. Kind of brings the product to life, shows you exactly how it can be used. And as we scroll down, again, just very clean UI screenshots here showing you exactly what's possible with this product and how to use it. So yeah, some great things in terms of bold design here, and also just how to actually illustrate a product in a meaningful way. The next website on the list is Transpoco, and this was another brand and website created by us at Blend. And the first thing to say about this website is how much I love the high-end premium feel that it gives off. What you can see immediately is this light trail that's wrapping around the van here, which perfectly encapsulates their T from the logo here, which has been pulled out, this kind of light trail from it, and also the van actually nodding to what they sell, which is fleet vehicle tracking and safety technology. So that's all working perfectly with the message here, but also creating a really unique, bespoke brand and image, look and feel, which you're not going to get on any other website. This is totally unique to Transpoco. And just the spacing around this content here and the kind of breath of fresh air that it brings is really nice. There's a lot of spacing around this message, which in itself is very clear and concise, and it's easy to tell exactly what they do, which I love as well. Clear and concise messaging beats clever every day of the week, so that's great too. And as we scroll down, some of the other things that I'll pull out is just the clarity of the font and the color palette here. The titles are just incredibly easy to digest. And actually, if we click into one of the solutions pages here, we can see that even clearer. This kind of unique way of displaying information is nice too. We've got this kind of separated out in a box, this hero, with the light trail again coming behind it. These are just very easy to digest and consume. Perhaps if we click into one of these as well, we can see that again, the typeface isn't overwhelmingly bold because that kind of backs up the premium feel that Transpoco are giving off here. If you start to go too heavy in font weight, it starts to get a bit playful, but Transpoco are kind of remaining professional and stripped back, which gives a real high-end feel here. But just the ability to consume content easily on this website is really, really great. And the choice in color and different sections being pulled out in different ways is really great too. So yeah, lots of good things going on the Transpoco website. CHI Overhead Doors website was another brand and website created by us at Blend, and there are a lot of things to love about this website. Firstly, CHI are a very premium high-end garage door manufacturer, and they needed a website that would reflect the high-end nature of their products, and that's exactly what this website does. As soon as you land on the website, you get this really high-end photography panel here. But what I really like in the way that we've kind of matched that up with some of these hand-drawn elements, like these lines here, like this hand-drawn text and this arrow here, is that it nods to the craftsmanship and the kind of bespoke touches that you get from CHI's manufacturing process. So not only do we have high-end photography here, which also, by the way, the images have a bit of a wiggle to them, which just gives a bit of play to the website. And yeah, we've got these hand-drawn elements that nod to the craftsmanship of CHI, which I really love here. So immediately when you land on, you get this high-end, but also this kind of bespoke touch added on too, which I absolutely love. Color has also been applied very strategically to the user experience of this website, because what we can see here is that they sell to two different areas, homeowners and businesses. And what had to be done in order to make the UX as clear as possible was to separate these in the best way, which if you just look by imagery, sometimes that isn't entirely clear unless you look deeply at each image. So separating it out by color just gives that clear distinction of homeowners and businesses too. And that's reflected in modules like this down here. It's reflected in the navigation, where this is blue for residential, commercial is green. And that's also reflected, in other areas of the website too. So it just creates a really clear experience for the navigation, for every area of the website to actually direct you to the right place. Whether you are a commercial buyer or a residential buyer, you'll be able to find exactly what you need. You can even see it down here. We've got the blue and green, the different iconography that reflects that. Yeah, I'd say definitely go and explore this website, check it out, because there are a lot of things to love in terms of the UX, the presentation of content, the high-end photography. It's a really great example of a non-typical B2B website, because it's not SaaS, it's manufacturing, and it's just created to a really, really high standard. Absolutely love it. The next website we have on the list is Overpass, and I know our design team are big fans of this website too, and yeah, there's a lot of things to like here. Firstly, the kind of typeface and the clear typography here is really, really great, even, if the message could be improved perhaps, but actually the typeface and the design of it is fantastic. And what I really like too is this block coloring. So, where you don't have these gradients that bleed into each other, you've actually just got clear, loud, bold, colorful blocks of color behind different things going on here, like these stock photography, which works well behind these key pieces of information that are pulled out there. And yeah, the bold nature of the color blocking works well with their brand, which is very bold and is very exciting too. As we scroll down through this website, we see more white space start to build out, and the color blocking reduces down to iconography and smaller elements within the design itself, and that allows for typography and messaging to really stand out here. And as I scroll down, you'll notice in this section the main thing that stands out is the title here, and that's exactly what they want to draw your eye to. And then the next thing is these core sections here with subtle body copy, easily consumable, but that's not the intention, to draw the eye to it. And that's what the white spacing does here quite carefully. And, as we go into more sections, the block colors come out when we have, other information to consume. But when there's core messaging, you'll see there's a lot of white space applied in order to give room and draw the eye to that core message. So yeah, it's a really interesting way to use block coloring, interesting shapes here too that you don't see very often. And yeah, make a website that's quite playful, very bold, but also easy to consume as well. The next website we have on the list is Advice Guide, and there's a couple of things that I want to call out here. The first one being the actual color choice, which is fantastic. They've chosen green, and I think that's for the psychological purpose of green being a known calming color, because they're selling to financial advisors, which is obviously a very stressful role in advising people what to do with their money, which is, an incredibly important role to have for people. They are highly trusted to guide people on what to do. And green immediately calms the brain. And that is a known psychological thing that's been researched, that's been proven. And I think they're weaving that into the website in order to kind of tailor that to their target audience that they know, might need that kind of soothing experience through their website, and they're applying that well here. Aside from that, what I really like is, the clear, bold typeface here as well, highlighting key words in this kind of secondary color that they've pulled out here. This is a really great, just clear line as well, which maybe could be moved up to the hero section, but I think it's really great to have it within view straight away anyway. But yeah, it's a very kind of calm, soothing website. It's easy to consume, easy to digest, and the color palette I think is just especially well chosen, and that's why I wanted to highlight it on this list. The next website we have on this list is Viedoc, which has been designed and developed by us at Blend. And what I really like about this website is immediately when you land on to the homepage, we've got a very kind of calming environment. We've got a lot of space. We've got a light color palette, which actually kind of goes hand in hand with Viedoc's offering, which is simple clinical trial software. And what we've created here is a simple website design which works very effectively. We've got clear, concise messaging. We've got very light and simplified product UI screenshots here showing exactly what you get from their offering, working in tandem with the message here. And yeah, we've got this kind of subtle gradient in the background which doesn't overwhelm, which isn't, you know, too bold, and just works really nicely with actually what they offer too. As we scroll down, again, we kind of mirror that simplified content, so it's very easy to consume information. We're not kind of overwhelming the visitor here because that's not going to work alongside what they offer in terms of simplicity. So we've mirrored their simple offering with a simple website design too. If we hop into well, actually, let's talk about the navigation now I've opened it. They do have quite a lot of solutions here to offer and secondary services as well. But what you can see here is that it's very easy to digest all of this information and select what you want. These kind of headlines on their own should be enough for their audience to understand what they do, but just this secondary, you know, few words, single sentence overview of what this solution is just actually helps you select the right thing and navigate to the right place. Also, putting services secondary in the navigation is a good idea if, you know, that's not their core offering, which it isn't. So they're accessible, but they aren't the primary thing that buyers are going to see. When we hop into one of the product pages here, we get a similar experience. So very digestible copy here, kind of clean, modern feel to this entire website. Good UI screenshots showing you exactly what the product does, and a light frame, which I like here too. A simple way to view all the products, view the benefits. Great examples of social proof here, some FAQs and essential information there. They also have this light and dark mode toggle to enable users based on their preference to browse the website in their preferred mode. So another great thing there to add to the users, you know, because they can then choose their preference to consume the website in their theme. The next website we have on the list here is Biostrata, another one created by us at Blend. And what I really like about this website is immediately when you land on it, you know exactly what Biostrata do. Very clear, immediate message telling you exactly what they are, a life science marketing services provider. And all of this imagery, this life science-esque kind of, you know, protein, molecule kind of showcase here of different elements that are within life science is exactly what you'd like to see to back up this message here. So absolutely love that. The dark theme is really nice. More implementation of kind of different nods to scientific elements here are great too. Clear presentation of their services as well and what they kind of offer here with iconography to back that up, and just a really great website that tailors itself exactly to their market. Sometimes with professional services it can be hard to actually, you know, showcase what you do in imagery, and I think with Biostrata here we found the balance to showcase it via imagery that tailors itself to that audience, to that buyer. You know, you can look at these images immediately as their buyer and understand that they can help them with life science, because that's what we're showing here and what we're saying in the message. The next website we have on the list here is Databox, and actually all I'm going to do for this example is just focus above the fold here, because that's everything that you need for a homepage hero section right here. Absolutely, you know, first class display of information from Databox here. Immediately what we've got is social proof at the top and the bottom under here, you know, building trust with buyers immediately. We've got a very clear message, an easy to use analytical platform for growing businesses. So we know exactly what the product is and who it's for. That is essentially homepage messaging in a nutshell right there, and Databox have it spot on. what we've got next to it is a clear product UI showing an example of what their platform offers, with just a little subtle nod to the brand here behind, which is from the Databox logo here. They've just reflected that behind the UI, which is a really nice touch and just brings the brand to life a little bit more. We've also got the color running through growing businesses here, which again is just, one way to actually bring out who this is for. Do you want to be a growing business? I think we all do. So a really great way to highlight that in the information. And two clear ways here to convert. Either we try it for free or we book a demo. So two options there. All of this within the header, which, this is just a fantastic example of what to put in the homepage hero section. Databox have it absolutely nailed here. I'm not even going to scroll the rest of the website. Check it out yourself, because even as you start to navigate through this website, look at the product pages, there's just more great examples of actually, how to communicate with your buyers, how to pull that out into visuals. And yeah, just a great example here from Databox. 5 out of 5. On all fronts. The next website we have on the list is Wavenet, and this was a brand and website created by us at Blend. And what I really, there's a lot of things to like about this website, but one thing I want to call out straight away from the homepage are these kind of technology lines and image masks that we've placed stock photography in here, because it's a really interesting way to make stock photography actually look unique and different. These technology masks are all about kind of playing into Wavenet's offering, which is technology ultimately. And when you're talking about technology, you need a way to make it modern and different too, and kind of make it stand out, especially when it comes to stock photography, which can just look so kind of subpar and standard at times. And these technology masks here and different lines that are being pulled out from the logo, which you can see here, and they extend into the mask, are a really clever way to make this entire website look and feel unique, and really kind of elevate the brand and give Wavenet a true identity that's different than any of their competitors and true to them. Another subtle design feature that I like, that I haven't seen on any of the other websites mentioned on this list, or any others really, is this navigation blur effect here, which is really different and really something nice. Usually when you click on a navigation, it might kind of dull the background, or actually, not do anything to the background at all. But this not only kind of, is just a very nice design feature to add in here, but it does enhance the user experience because it guides you towards the navigation and enhances your focus on the selected area here, whilst it blurs everything else behind it. So I think it's just a really nice way to actually, enhance the visual kind of look and feel of this navigation box, and enable users to read it more clearly by blurring the background and select exactly what they want, and travel through the rest of the website with a lot more ease, and select the option that they need. If we just dive a little bit deeper into the website, into one of the service pages, you can just see these technology boxes and lines, and very clear, concise typeface and colors being used throughout the entire website. Just small images that kind of back up the core message here, which I really like. But the unique look and feel of the brand is what I really want to focus on here, because it's a really nice way of pulling out things from the logo, the angles, the cuts within the logo into these image masks here. Just a really nice kind of look and feel, and alongside that, supports a clear communication language and style here, which Wavenet have got, which I really like. And look at how these lines and these masks are being used through the rest of the website. It's a really clever kind of design system which can be used in a lot of different flexible ways. Next on the list we have Robin Radar, which was a website created by Blend ourselves. And what I really like about this website is, as soon as you land on, you've got this very clear, concise headline copy here, so you know exactly what you're getting from this website. It's radar systems that have you covered, and we've got some supporting imagery here, which shows you kind of how they identify things via the radar, but in a creative way. And it's a dark theme, which is different as well for our website. But the danger of a dark theme sometimes is that text is quite hard to read and actually pull out of different sections. But what we've done with Robin Radar here is made sure that any headline copy is extremely easy to read. And when we dive into other areas of the website, we've actually got light areas where more heavy information that you need people to consume is pulled out more clearly. When we dip into the product pages themselves, there's very clear product visuals that work alongside the text here, and product information is all presented in very easy, digestible ways, supporting imagery showing exactly what the product looks like in situ is important too, showing, it's a real product being placed in real situations here, not just simply, like photography from product shoots. This is a real product in use right here. We've got specifications called out very clearly. And just product information presented in a clear way, but, with some differentiation there. These little bubbles and things behind which represent how the radar interacts and tracks movement. So everything designed here is very intentional and aligns with their offer and their brand in every single way possible. Next on the list, we have Equiem, which was a website created by us at Blend. And I just think this website is a fantastic example of just getting the basics and the simple things right. It is a simple website, but it is a very effective website too. So immediately when we land on the homepage, we have a clear value proposition here. The website itself is, dark/light and uses a lot of their kind of color palette in meaningful ways, uses the logo behind here just to create kind of some visual interest and that brand image coming through the rest of the website itself, which I like. There's a nice gradient that runs through the headline copy here, which I like. It's kind of a nod to their purple, but just something a little bit different in terms of the copy there. And then what we've got in terms of imagery here as well is really nice and just simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it here. We've got some product UI screenshots and different devices showing it can be used on mobile, it can be used on desktop, with key elements of the product pulled out as needed. And we've also got this lifestyle photography which shows, a more nod towards their ideal buyer. So it combines both. We've got not only product UI screenshots, but actually, imagine yourself in this scenario as well, Mr. Buyer. You're right here in our imagery right there. As we scroll through the website, there's more just great best practice examples really here. We've got some, good examples of social proof, clear headline copy, again, just being pulled out, which I love. Great product UI screenshots, some more nods to their logo here and just building up that brand image, which I like too. And then let's dive into the platform page. Again, navigation here. Look at how simple that is. Not overcomplicating this at all, just keeping it very simple and easy to use. Now we get into a more dark page where, again, this is actually their logo just being used as this shape here to create some visual interest and just a more differentiated feel, but it's a clever way to use the logo. Then we've got this clear video which shows you exactly how the product's being used. And then we get into some more information presented very clearly. Yeah, look at these lovely screenshots here. Very nice and easy to digest all of this information. A very simple but effective website there for Equiem. The last website we have on the list is Second Nature, which is another one created by us at Blend. And just look at how bold and vibrant and exciting this website is. I absolutely just love the kind of colors and expression within this website. It plays exactly into Second Nature's brand and what they're all about really, which is, helping create experience that help residents ultimately. And it's just such a fun website to look at and to browse through. The colors, the waves, the way that they kind of integrate iconography and use bold, exciting themes is just fantastic throughout the whole thing. Look at how these colors kind of move together. It creates a really kind of just playful, bold, colorful, exciting look and feel in the whole website, which I really like here. And one thing that I did like too on the residents benefits package here is just how they're kind of integrating the door, which leans to that resident actual word itself with the door there, and then the actual benefits of their product and what they offer just layered on top of it as well. And yeah, again, more examples of how they've used the curves, brought in different elements of their color palette in a really creative and bold, striking way, which we don't see a lot in B2B there. So it's a different example of how to use color, a little bit of animation in here showing the platform, which yeah, just a really great example there of something different. Okay, let's wrap it up there. As I mentioned at the start, your website plays such a crucial role in generating high quality traffic and converting it for your business, generating that inbound pipeline that is so necessary for businesses to grow. So hopefully those website designs were helpful for you to get a bit of inspiration for your next project. If there's anything we can do at Blend to help you along that journey, then check out the links in the description below to our services and to some of our work that's been presented in this video today. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that one, and I'll catch you next time.